little town diner glow. People laughing like they'll always know how tomorrow's gonna roll on by. Then the sirens cut across the sky. Phone went dead, power lines burned black. Nobody knew if it was coming back. Old man Jenkins.
Imagine this. It's 7:30 on a Friday evening. You're finishing dinner when everything goes dark. The TV shuts off, the Wi-Fi disappears, the refrigerator goes silent. Your phone still works for now. You think it'll be back in an hour or so, maybe by morning. But one day turns into 3 days turns into a week becomes a month. What would you do if the power stayed off for 30 days? Today, we're going to go through the scenario together from day 1 all the way to day 30 and talk about practical steps that you can help prepare for an extended outage. This isn't fear. I'm not trying to scare people to death. It's about asking an important question. How prepared are you if the lights don't come back on when you expect them to? We just had a power outage the other day and expected it to be back on in an hour or so. Ended up 3-4 hours. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Okay, day 1. The first 24 hours actually feel pretty normal, unless it's a very hot day like today, but your phone still has a charge. Your freezer is still cold if you keep the door shut. The water is probably still running. Gas stations might even still be open. Most people think they'll fix it soon, and that's the biggest mistake. If you have backup batteries, rechargeable power stations, or a generator, now is the time to use them wisely. And not all at once, so to speak. Day 2 and 3, reality starts to set in a bit. Cell phone towers may become overloaded or lose backup power. Internet services could become unreliable. Stores begin running out of low essentials as people rush to buy bottled water, batteries, ice, fuel, toilet paper. If you're not prepared, this is when you stay home instead of joining the crowds, because people get crazy when they get scared. The fewer unnecessary trips you make, the better. Week 1. We're up to week 1 now. By the end of the week, everything in your refrigerator has likely spoiled. The freezer may no longer keep food frozen unless you have backup power. This is why preppers emphasize shelf-stable food. Think about canned vegetables, canned meats, rice, beans, peanut butter, pasta, oats, easy stuff. These foods don't rely on electricity to remain safe to eat. Week 1, water. Water quickly becomes your number 1 priority. If water services is interrupted or a boil advisory is issued, your stored water becomes essential. A good rule of thumb is to have at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for drinking. And, washing up a little bit, but I still say a gallon of water for drinking. You can gradually wing off of that a little bit, though, but depends what you're doing. If you have a way to filter or purify additional water safely, you'll have more options if stored supplies start running low. Week 2. Never thought this would happen, 2 weeks without power. These days, that's nuts. Now things begin changing. Neighborhoods become quieter. Some people leave town. Others begin to realize they didn't prepare. Garbage starts piling up. Traffic becomes lighter. Stores may have limited hours or remain closed. The conveniences we've come to rely on are no longer guaranteed. Okay, cooking without power. You are making dinner. Do you have a propane stove, charcoal grill, rocket stove, wood stove? One thing many people forget is fuel. Having a stove is great. Having enough fuel to use it for weeks or even better. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions. Useful fuel burning stoves only if they're designed to be used with proper ventilation and safety. We've got to be safe. Lighting. Ooh. Once the sun goes down, your home becomes a different place. Flashlights, headlamps, lanterns, candles, rechargeable lights. Lighting isn't just about comfort. It's about preventing injuries and helping you move around in the dark safely. Also, about this time, home security comes into play with the lighting. Let's move on to sanitary. This is something many people overlook. If water services are interrupted, how will you flush the toilet, wash dishes, take a shower, wash clothes, handle trash? Good sanitation helps reduce illnesses, keeps daily life more manageable during extended outages. And we talked about the lighting and security, so let's go over some right now. One thing people worry about during emergencies is protecting their home and family. Rather than looking for trouble, the goal is to make your home look occupied. Stay aware of your surroundings and work with trusted neighborhoods when possible. And that's like neighborhood watches and stuff like that, if that's still a thing during this time. Simple habits, locking doors, using outdoor lighting when available, and maintaining communication with people you trust can make a big difference. Now, I purchased some solar lights, motion censored solar lights. So anytime somebody goes by them, they pop on. Great addition. Didn't cost that much, and I've had them for probably 7-8 years now. And they still work. because they don't come on all the time. Next one is communication. Without reliable internet, how do you receive updates? A battery powered or a hand crank radio and NOAA weather radio can provide emergency information in many areas. Keep family members informed about your plans ahead of time so everybody knows where to meet and how to check for communication when communication becomes very difficult. Okay, let's move on to week 3. Ooh. And you're feeling it by now. 3 weeks without electricity. This is where routines matter. Families who have a plan often adapt more smoothly than just making a decision on the fly. Daily tasks become a new normal. Collect water, cook meals, charge your devices if possible, meaning solar. Get your solar out there in the morning. Maintain equipment. Check on neighbors if it's safe to do so. Take inventory of the supplies that you have. Let's dive into the mental side of this a little bit. People often focus on gear, but morale matters too. Books, board games, playing cards, conversations, faith, music, keep a routine. These things can help reduce stress and keep everyone focused. Sometimes the greatest survival tool is staying calm. Week 4, at the 1 month mark, you've learned what works and what just doesn't work. You've discovered what you forgot. Maybe you wish you had. You know, this is the things that you like, man, I wish I would have thought of this. I wish I could have had this. This would have come in handy right about now. You know, if I'd have paid attention to those Bushcraft family videos, maybe I would have got this. You know, that's one of those I wish I could have type situations, like more batteries, more fuel, more water, more canned food, more medicine or different types of medicines, or herbal medicines, more flashlights like 101. Every emergency teaches us a lesson. The best time to identify those gaps is before a real emergency happens, not during, because it's a little late then. What I do today, if somebody asked me how to prepare, I'd start small. I've said it many, many times, many of these videos. Store water. Make sure you have as much water as you possibly can. Make sure whatever area you're in, you find an alternate source of water, whatever it can be, a stream, a pond, swimming pools. Water is so important. And so many times, people who think they are prepared are not prepared for lack of water. Build a pantry. Again, you don't have to start out with filling a whole thing up in a week or so. Start small. Like I said, every time you go to a store, buy something separate. This will go in for my pantry. Learn to cook without electricity. Have a day to where, you know, you shut things down and you just cook from a propane stove or something, or cook outside on a grill. Things like that. Make it fun. Get the kids involved if you still have kids in the house. Keep backing up lighting. So often we'll have all this stuff, and 5-6 years down the road, power goes out and you go to use it and it doesn't work anymore. Always check your batteries, have a good supply of batteries, have multiple ways to stay informed. Practice using your equipment before you need it. I hate seeing brand new, out of the box survival gear, so to speak, that's never been used. You don't know how to use it, and hopefully you still have the directions, if they have directions, and then you wait, and then it takes you forever to figure out how to use it, or you use it the wrong way and it breaks. Preparedness isn't about expecting the worst. It's about making everyday decisions that make it easier to handle. Okay, let's go ahead and start wrapping this up, so to speak. Here's my challenge for you. Tonight, walk through your home, turn off every light. Imagine power isn't coming back for 30 days. Ask yourself this: how could my family eat? How could my family cook a meal? Where would I get water if the water I have in my house is no more? How could I stay warm or cool like it is now, very hot out? How could we keep in touch to know everything's okay, or to know how long this is going to take place, or how long, or if it's just in my area, or is it all over? The answers can help you guide your preparations for in case it does happen. Now, what I want to hear from you is what's the very first thing you would do if the power went out for an entire month? Put it down in the comments. Are you prepared for this? Leave it in the comments below. Would you have enough water? Would you have enough food? Would you have enough fuel to cook your food, or whatever form that you go with? Would you feel safe at night? You know, being that there'll be a lot of bad people out wanting what you have. Do you feel safe? Preparing isn't about a panic. It's about a peace of mind. With that, like always, God bless.